What would be the discovery of a lifetime starts outside the walls of Jerusalem in an old cemetery.
We came here and excavated 7 of these burial caves. The burial caves date back to the 7th century BC, somewhere around the time of King Josiah. But the caves were found looted, so we didn't anticipate too much.
Gabriel Barkai instructed a 13-year-old volunteer to clean up a tomb for photographs.
Instead of that, he was bored, he was alone, and he had a hammer, and he began banging on the floor.
But the floor turned out to be a fallen ceiling. And beneath it were some artifacts that had escaped the looters. Among the hundreds of grave goods, one artifact stood out.
It looked like a cigarette butt. It was cylindrical, about 1 inch in size, about ½ an inch in diameter, and it was very clear it is made of silver. It was some kind of a tiny scroll.
A second, slightly smaller scroll was also found, and both were taken to the labs at the Israel Museum. But unraveling the scrolls to see if they contain a readable inscription could risk destroying them completely. Andy Vaughn was one of the epigraphers on the project.
Archaeology is basically a destructive science. In order to learn anything, you have to destroy what's there. Gabriel Barkai and his team had to make a decision. Does one unroll these amulets or does one preserve them? They decided that it was worth the risk, and hindsight would tell us that they could not have been more correct.
Through painstaking conservation, technicians devised a special method for unrolling the scrolls and revealing their contents.
I went over there and I was amazed to see the whole thing full of very delicately scratched, very shallow characters. The first word that I could decipher already on the spot was YHWH, which is the 4-lettered, unpronounceable name of God.
Further investigation revealed more text and a surprisingly familiar prayer, still said in synagogues and churches to this day.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26.
There is no doubt at all that these 2 amulets contain the priestly benediction found in Numbers 6. These inscriptions are thus very important because they're the earliest references we have to the written biblical narratives.
The archaeological context was very clear because it was found together with pottery dating back to the 7th century BC. Also the paleography, the shape of letters, points towards somewhere in the 7th century BC beyond any doubt.
The silver scrolls with the priestly benediction predate the earliest Dead Sea Scrolls by 400 years. It is an amazing find, proving that at least some verses of the Bible were written in ancient times during the reign of King David's descendants. The search for the origins of Yahweh leads scholars back to ancient Egypt. Here in the royal city of Karnak, for over 1,000 years, pharaohs celebrated their power with statues, obelisks, and carved murals on temple walls.
Here on the north wall of Karnak, we have scenes depicting the victories in battle of Seti I, the father of Ramses the Great. Seti here commemorates one of his greatest victories over the Shasu.
The Shasu were a people who lived in the deserts of southern Canaan, now Jordan and northern Saudi Arabia, at around the same time as the Israelites emerged. Egyptian texts say one of the places where the Shasu lived is called YHWH, probably pronounced Yahu, likely the name of their patron god. That name Yahu is strangely similar to Yahweh, the name of the Israelite God. In the Bible, the place where the Shasu lived is referred to as Midian. It is here, before the Exodus, the Bible tells us Moses first encounters Yahweh in the form of a burning bush.
Come no closer. Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. God also said to Moses, Thus you shall say to the Israelites, Yahweh, the God of your ancestors, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this my title for all generations. Exodus 3, 5 and 15.
So we have in Egyptian sources something that appears to be a name like Yahweh in the vicinity of Midian. Here is Moses in Midian, and there a deity appears to him and reveals his name to Moses as Yahweh.